All right, guys, I'm on to read that article that I was telling you about yesterday. This is so gross. It's just so disgusting. And it, like I was saying yesterday, how it just shows the time frame that we're in and the things that are right underneath our noses, and we don't realize that this stuff is happening until we see stuff like this, or until you're actually maybe looking for certain things. You're not going to know that this stuff is out there. I certainly didn't know until I saw it. So this is a few days old, but I do want to read it for you because this just shows you just what time frame that we are in. This is just so gross. If, like I said, this is a sensitive matter. So if you have young kids in the room, either listen to it when you're alone. If you have a weak stomach, I would suggest not listening to it. But this is called Australia's First Abortion Doula. And if you don't know what a doula is, it's they work along with midwives. They don't they don't help with the labor per se, like delivering the baby. They help with support with during your labor, and like if you need a support person. Anyways, it says, Australia's first abortion doula recalls helping terrified young woman through her termination. These days, many expectant mothers who are more interested in natural birth or home birth often obtain a doula. That is a non-medical birthing assistant who acts as a support person during pregnancy and delivery. However, the trend of abortion doulas is growing in the pro-choice movement. These are women who work with expectant mothers who want to end the life of their unborn child and assist them through the process. A very sad and twisted adulteration of the role that such an assistant can play in the process of bringing life into the world. Jo Bolger is Australia's first abortion doula and was recently profiled by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. She recalled her first experience of acting as a doula when she was tasked with providing support for a terrified young woman in the early days of the virus lockdown, who was seeking a late-term abortion that required physical labor at the hospital. I was there to witness this young woman being totally scared, terrified, Bolger told ABC. This would-be mother, of course, was likely about to undergo a partial birth abortion, which involves delivering the baby that is still alive and then aborted. So it is easy enough to imagine she was very afraid of such a horrific process. It is heartbreaking to think of what circumstances may have led her to make this decision. ABC only says that it was to save her life, although does not specify if her life was even at risk by the pregnancy. And even if it was, it doesn't matter. You're still taking the life of a human being. We laughed, we cried. I held her hand, rubbed her back. It was a labor process, but at the end of it, her life moved forward, Bolger said. She said to me, no one would do this for me, and here you are doing it for me. And I said, hey, I got time, she continued, describing the task of being an abortion doula as sharing love. It's really giving as much as I can, but on their terms. Bolger underwent her training to be an abortion doula in a program hosted by Children by Choice, which assists with unplanned pregnancy options from abortion to adoption and parenting, according to ABC. The training was developed in partnership with the accredited Australian Doula College. Renee Adair, the founder of the former organization, told ABC that abortion doulas help clients ask a lot of questions, feel like they have some control, and really hold the space for the experience. I want you to pay attention to the words here in this next paragraph. Please listen to this. During one such training session in March, Children by Choice's Rachel Smith told the room of aspiring abortion doulas that they would be playing an important role as in reproductive justice. Let that sink in for a minute. Reproductive justice. Doulas provide services at the intersections of our most essential human rights. The right to give birth, the right not to give birth, and the right to safely parent children, the three cornerstones of reproductive justice, she says. The right not to give birth, of course, is non-existent, as it inherently violates the rights of an unborn child to simply live. This is a right to this website that I'm reading from, she's a pro-life advocate. She's a born-again believer, pro-life advocate. So I'm reading off of her website. This is where she's talking in her own words. This is a right recognized by God, if not by the governments of the Australian state of our own government here in the United States. It is tragic to think of young women being encouraged through a traumatizing abortion rather than encouraged to choose life for their baby, something which may also be difficult for her to do, but does not destroy the life of the child conceived in her womb. There is nothing just about abortion and nothing supportive about being an abortion doula. So I wanted to share that with you. And the term reproductive justice really stuck out to me because I feel like that's a term that would be used in darkness and in witchcraft and in satanic worship. It's a form of blood sacrifice, that it's the justice, reproductive justice, gathering the blood of the unborn to sacrifice to their god, Satan himself. And we know that this happened in the Bible, where people were having abortions and were murdering their babies to Moloch. And they were sacrificing to Moloch, sacrificing blood. And that is just the continuation of what is happening now. And sadly, many people fall for the tricks and the schemes. And a lot of times doctors will tell these women that their life is in danger when it isn't at all. And these women fall for the trick of the enemy. And, unfortunately, when they seek out these abortions and, these abortion clinics, they have a quota that they need to keep. They have so many abortions that they need to perform every month in order to keep their state financing. And that's why, and in order to do that, they have to lie, cheat, and steal these little babies and murder as many babies as they can, if not go over their quota, so that they can get, the more babies they kill, the more money they make, basically. I know this is in Australia, but it's the same all over. These women, they aren't being encouraged to seek out help. They're not being encouraged. Of course you're going to be scared. A first-time mom is always scared. I was a first-time mom at one point. I was terrified. Okay, I didn't know what to expect. It's always scary when it's your first. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's going to happen. And unfortunately and sadly, this girl waited until she was, late term. So the baby was full term. And, you can't give me this baloney that the baby doesn't feel anything in the womb, because she had it partial. She went through labor, guys. She went through labor, contractions, pushing, and the baby is halfway out, and they murdered that baby. Let that sink in a little bit. This is what the world has come to. And this is how evil people's hearts have come to, that they can excuse that away for being, a personal choice. She didn't want to take care of the baby so much that she went through labor and felt the contractions, and she felt the baby coming out, and she murdered it so she didn't have to deal with it. I don't know how or what type of person, I'm being sarcastic here, but I don't know what type of woman could feel a baby moving in their stomach, kicking and hiccuping and, having all of these movements in your stomach, and you do something like that. I don't get it. And it's not because you're afraid of dying. It's not because of, whatever else, it's because you made that choice. It wasn't that baby's choice. You made that choice to do that and to have a baby or to do whatever. And you made that choice. It wasn't that baby's fault. And, I believe, and the Bible doesn't say this, but this is my own personal belief, in heaven, that there's going to be so many babies there are going to be so many babies in heaven, and I believe that we're going to be able to watch them grow up to an age of accountability, or of whatever age. I think it's 33 or whatever. I firmly believe that. I believe that all babies that are born, you know, parents that have lost their babies, whether miscarriage or accident or illness or abortion or whatever, I believe that, you know, we're going to be able to get up there. Believers anyways, are going to be able to watch these babies grow, especially if they are yours. I have one up there as well, and I'm anxious and excited to see that baby grow, or even meet my child, you know. And I know so many people that have had multiple, and who have lost children, and who have, you know, lost babies in the womb and whatever else, you know. And, you know, if you think about from the beginning of time, they've been doing this up until now, until Jesus returns. I mean, think of how many babies are going to be up there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of kids, lots of kids. But anyways, guys, I wanted to share that with you. I could go into more detail, but I just want to just share that with you. My phone is dying, and I'm going to keep it short. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if anything else pops up or comes out, which I'm sure it will, I will be on again tomorrow. And until next time, may you be richly blessed.